mountains by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
My goodness, boy. You've lived here all your life just like me. I can't tell you much that you don't already know.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? What kind of snakes, dear?
I don't know. Local kinds?
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one being sighted for years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Gran. Tell me about yourself.
Me? Oh, surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
Oh, come on, Gran.
All right, dear. What do you want to hear?
What do you do all day?
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden? I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright. My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas, corn, cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend Alma, and at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fire and brimstone annex, and a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for man, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. It was then I knew that he was for me.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I
Damn,
told him
God.
rotten.
Just tell me anything at all.
I never loved any man but your grandfather, and I never will.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddad and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies, whether he wanted to or not.
Just tell me anything at all.
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Just tell...
I wish you'd settle down and give me a great-grandchild.
Oh, Gran. Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, nothing, never mind.
All right.
Okay. Family.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He worked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. I tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. The nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he'd lost another. And I would tell him it didn't matter to me. But he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Old people only want you to procreate. That is true.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. Took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
I know you are, dear.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was! He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift. But he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
Right, so if you were here at the beginning and saw Gabriel read a book that he read a poem by Heinz Ritter, that was actually Harrison Knight, and yeah. Anyways, you'll see more of that later. Anyways, anything
Tell me
else?
something about Granddad.
I don't know what else to do.
Okay, what about Dad?
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him. Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. They were 2 peas in a pod.
And now Gabriel has the nightmares too.
Tell me about my father.
When Philip met your mother, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then. And he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Okay.
Tell me about my father.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or a wild cat.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about my father.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school. Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked.
What are you talking about, Dan? I have my stepsister's way with cousins. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Tell me about my father.
He always hated it that it was Margaret's money that supported the 3 of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or 2. He couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Tell me about my father.
I don't know what else.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked a finer family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be a sweet gesture.
Maybe I will.
In fact, I will.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from a great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
Tell me about my mother.
The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. They never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
Tell me about
I don't know.
Okay.
Have you baked any of your incredible molasses pies lately?
Molasses?
No, dear. But you let me know when you want some, and I'll whip up half a dozen.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone pronounce it molasses. It's just molasses.
You've lost weight. Are you courting a new man?
Oh, Gabriel, don't be silly. You know there'll never be anyone but your granddad for me.
Your hair looks very pretty today, Gran.
Oh, why, thank you, dear. So does... You've always had such nice, thick hair, Gabriel.
That's my running joke in this game is Gabriel's hair. It's always so floppy and everywhere, and he thinks it looks great, and some people think it looks really dumb, and yeah, Gabriel's obsessed with his own looks, and for some reason it doesn't look bad. I don't know.
You know, I always tell people that my Gran is the prettiest grand old belle in the city.
Oh, dear. You shouldn't talk so.
Okay, I think I'm done with her. Now, isn't... Right, I'm gonna go upstairs now.
I'm gonna go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
Yeah, okay. Let's look around real quick.
Gabriel has seen these ornaments every year at Christmas for as long as he can remember. It's a lady's hat from the 1920s.
From Gran's Virginia Woolf period.
That tennis racket probably hasn't served a ball since the 40s. It's an old metal tub full of dust and cobwebs. These old picture frames have been up here for years. Grandma's attic is a storehouse of forgotten treasures and useless junk. That box of knickknacks has been up there for at least 5 years. There is nothing to open.
I can't open it. I guess the box is already open.
There's nothing I want in there.
Alright, and then there's this.
I think I'd take Daddy's sketchbook with me.
Alright, let's have a look at that.
Gabriel looks fondly at his father's sketchbook and charcoal pencil.
How does one... There we go. These creepy things. See. Yes, these things come up later.
Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious.
It's because Gabriel has the same dreams that his father did. And these images are stuff from his dreams. If you saw the beginning cutscene, which I realize most of you guys didn't, so, but, yeah. Okay. Oh, did I look at, this?
Gabriel is carrying a...
Yeah. How do I, wait, how do I grab... Oh, I just need to... Where's the grab? Is there not a grab? There we go.
Gabriel magnifies the scale from the lake. The iridescent scale is brilliantly hued with greens and purples.
Okay. That's all I want to do. Alright, and now... Oh, I don't need that.
The old trunk looks like it's gone to hell and back. An elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin, is among the discarded treasures of the attic. It doesn't seem to be running at the moment.
Okay, so... Is this a push? Yeah. There's our clock. Alright, now... If you remember the poems from the bookstore... The poem from the bookstore... That was actually... It was written by Heinz Ritter, which was... Harrison Knight's original name before he changed it. it said something about 3 dragons. So...
A ring of 6 symbols surround the face of the clock. A sword, a sun, an angel, a noose, an eclipse, and a dragon.
Right. So...
The ring of symbols does not appear to have any mechanical function, but it does move.
Oh wait, do I need to use this one?
Why move that part of the clock?
Oh, sure. Oh, I'm holding on to it, I think. Dragging it 10, or I mean noon, or 12. Bleh. And then we gotta put the clock at 3.
The face of the clock doesn't move.
No, I want this up here. We need the other one. Oh, do I have to go like this? Okay. Alright.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
I don't think you're supposed to be able to come back here and get into the clock until later when you realize that Heinz Ritter is Harrison Knight. But again, I'm breaking, sequence breaking.
Gabriel doesn't want...
Okay. What do we got here?
The old photographs show Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified.
And a castle.
The old photo...
Yeah. What was the other thing I got? Is it this?
The letter is addressed to Heinz Ritter, whoever that is.
There are clocks and things, and I click the clickety blings. Yes, it's true, Jim.
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the recurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tipped bold strokes and underlining.
Ding, 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 ding. I didn't
The
like this.
clay doesn't work that way.
Oh, when I read it, I just want to look at it.
Gabriel
Yeah.
is...
Okay. Can I scroll this in a way yet?
This
Oh, I can't.
is the last page. Gabriel is carrying a priest's shirt and collar which, surprise, surprise, do not belong to him. This is the...
Okay, hush. Alright, exit. Right. So, now I can go talk to Gran about Heinz Ritter, I think. Yeah.
That's it. Take a load off, hon.
Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
Oh, my nemesis is here. Hello, nemesis. Alright, Heinz Ritter.
Do you know anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Heinz Ritter. Oh, Gabriel, where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
I promised I'd never tell you or your father. But I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Tell me, Gran.
Your granddad's name was Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Why did Granddad change his name?
I don't know. I tried to ask him about his family, his life before America, but he didn't want to talk about it. He never even told me about his name change. I found out one day when I saw his passport in a drawer. Since he obviously found it painful, I never questioned him about it. But I'm sure there was trouble with the law. Your granddad was the best man I ever knew.
$100 bill there is also known as Allgrain, and I know him from a forum and IRC channel and things. And yeah, he's calling me Grady because that's my name on that forum, but yeah, he's my nemesis. Alright, so what dialect is it Gabriel and Grant has? Gabriel, they're both supposed to be from New Orleans, but Gabriel's voiced by Tim Curry, who is a British voice actor, and his accent is all over the place. And then hers is just like a generic Southern accent. So you can call me whatever you like, I don't care. Alright, can I show her the picture?
Does this mean anything to you, Grain?
That one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other two, I don't know.
Okay. What about this?
Does this mean anything to you, Grain?
No, dear. I'm afraid I don't speak a word of German.
What? You call my friend? What? Or did you mean you? I've complimented her plenty. I'm gonna show her the privacy photo. If Gabriel let me, he might not let me.
Gabriel doesn't want to
Okay.
upset his grandmother with that photograph.
I just wanted to see what she might say, because I don't... Oh well. She's so, prim and proper. I don't think she'd like saying that very much. You have helped it? Yeah. Well, I click through things sometimes. What else I want? Oh, I wanted to show her the sketchbook.
Does this mean anything to you, Grain?
I believe that was your father's, Gabriel. You keep it.
How far in the game am I? Not very. I'm in the first day. Yeah. I'm maybe about halfway through the first day of the game, and the game is 10 days long, if I recall correctly. I think it's 10. Yeah, 10 days. So not very far. Not very far. And I'm taking my time with it. I'm really trying to enjoy the game and not rush through. I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably get through this game in like an hour, 2 hours, because I know everything, but Dan. Okay. Say bye to Gran.
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
I should turn the game speed back down. It's so funny watching that. Okay, now I can go get the Veve pattern. This thing here with the sketchbook.
Let me try to get this down.
Alright, so let's have a look at this.
The partial pattern from the crime scenes intrigues Gabriel. What does it mean?
How do I look at it close up? There we go.
The partial...
Okay. Yeah, alright. Yes, I'm not playing Cop Shooty. I've only played the very beginning thing. The Cop Shooty is Payday 2. I've only played the very beginning part in the hideout or whatever. I haven't actually played a mission or played much of it at all, actually. Yes, what does it mean? Alright. Okay, so... Well, I need to go back to the French Quarter. Alright. Why is there no music on the map screen? Where's the map screen music? Alright, so we can go to the cemetery. Well, we might as well go to the cemetery, because Gran just told us that we should go there. So we might as well do that now. Taxi. No, Gabe has a motorcycle. He didn't need a taxi. See, this looks a lot different in the remake, actually.
An old man tends the cemetery with movements akin to a slow drive. This is the tomb of Marie Laveau, voodoo queen of New Orleans.
Okay, I need to talk to him before he goes away.
Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
Okay, alright, let me talk to him before he walks away from here.
Excuse me, sir.
You got something to say, son?
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go ahead.
Oh.
These folks ain't in no hurry.
I really didn't need to come here yet. I should probably talk to Dr. John first. What crime has happened? Oh, well, there's been a series of murders, and they're calling them the voodoo murders because there's voodoo-type paraphernalia left around. Oh, here, in fact, I'll go ahead and show you the photograph of my inventory. There you go. There's, chicken feathers, and his heart's been ripped out of his chest. And, yeah. It gets ripped out while they're still alive. And, like, they see the heart get ripped out and it beating in someone's hand, and then they die a second later. It's creepy. But, yeah. Alright, let's talk to him now.
Mind if I...
Go ahead.
His beard. You know, his beard in the remake beta I've been playing is really nice looking. It looks glorious. It is a very nice beard. All right, let's talk.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
Yes, nasty crap.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I don't really care to talk about it. I don't do it none myself.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Ain't it just awful them finding those bodies with voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks is all.
What do you know?
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Seems like everybody want to visit New Orleans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery too. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
There's lots of things to see here, but none are as beautiful as the St. Louis Cemetery #1.
Okay. Anything else about?
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
Hey, if you want to know more, you should ask somebody else.
Do you know Equinox? Yeah. I met him through YouTube. He subscribed to my YouTube channel a long time ago, and we've been talking off and on since then. Alright, I forgot to talk to Gran about Schottenjäger. I don't even know if that showed up there.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know what you talking about.
Yeah, he does sound like that, doesn't he? He that's just how he is. It's amusing. Snakes.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them ain't poisonous, of course.
Do you know anything?
I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Yes, YouTube besties. Alright, himself.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis #1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, cause, but a big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers, you know. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound they don't know what they